Hello friends, welcome to Geeky Rabbit. Welcome to our series on Cucumber. So till now we have seen that how to prepare a feature file, how to prepare a step definition file, how to prepare the test runner file, and how to run the scenarios in the different scenarios in Cucumber. Also, we in the last few sessions, we have seen that how to achieve data-driven testing with and without the help of example keyword, as well as using the list or data tables. So now there is one more important topic that needs to be covered with respect to Cucumber, and it is very important when considering the interviews or the project or the framework. So we should know that Cucumber options. So let us today see about them. So first of all, just let us note them down. So there are few Cucumber options that we will be seeing today. So some of them we have already seen while defining the test runner file. And if you remember that this is a test runner file and these Cucumber options we had used. So there are, in addition to these three, there are a few bit of more. So let us then first of all, let us make a note of them. So the first one is the feature which we have already seen. Second one is glue. Third one is format. Then we also saw about dry run. Then something called as monochrome. Then we have strict, and lastly we have tags. So these are the different Cucumber options that we can use. So let us see what are the advantages of using this Cucumber option, and let's begin. So in here, while defining the test runner file, we have already used three of them, that is features, glue, and format. So let us see why we use features, why we use glue, and why we use format. So features, the first keyword, that is features, we are using that so to tell Cucumber that where the feature file lies. So by using features and by defining the path in here for feature file, it will allow the Cucumber to know that from where the feature files needs to be picked. So that's why we use the feature file. So we will write a sentence regarding that. So to tell Cucumber about the feature file location. So that's why we use feature. Same goes with glue. So in glue we are given the folder location for step definition. So in here you can see we have written the step definition, and under this all the step definition are written. So glue option will allow Cucumber to identify that from where we need to pick up the step definition file. So this is exactly the same with respect to feature file. So feature is for feature file, and glue is for step definition. So when we will write about it, so we'll write to tell Cucumber about the step definition file location. So by using these two parameter, we will tell Cucumber that from where to pick the feature file and from where to pick the step definition file and execute the program. So now the third option in here, the third Cucumber option is format. But for now, right now we'll be skipping this and then we'll be seeing this at the last. So let's go with dry run. So now when we are using dry run, so it will be noted in something like this. And now dry run is having Boolean value, so it can be true or it can be false. So when the value is false, at that time nothing will happen and the program will execute as it is. But if we give the value as true, and now in here, so whatever scenarios we have written and whatever steps are there, so for each step, if there is a method present in the new to step definition file, then it will be running fine. So I will show you. So now suppose consider a scenario in which there are many scenarios and you don't remember that for which line you have written step definition and for which you don't. So you need to verify that. So now if suppose for the given 6 lines you have written the step definition, and for the last line there is no step definition present. No method present in the step definition file. So let's first of all comment it out so that okay. So while after commenting, so now there is no method present in step definition file for the last steps. So now look what happens when we keep dry run is equal to true and run the program. So the execution will take place to check whether there is method in the step definition file for uh, all the steps given in the scenario. So now if we can see in the console output, we can see the missing step. So from here we get an indication that what step definition needs to be implemented, and by then afterwards we can copy it from here and we can add the step definition in here, and whatever the logic we need to write, we can write in here. So if a step definition is already present, so now as the step definition is not present, if you can go a bit up, now if you can see for each of the line here something is printed, but for the last line there is nothing. So it means that for the last line there is no step definition, and if there was a there was a method defined in the step definition file, then it would not have been blank. So now just try this out, just uncomment it again. So now for each step in the scenario we are having a method in the step definition file. So now when we will use the dry run option, see the change. So now it says that you are missing in the when you ran for the first time, but now for the second time, just see. So when you run, it will check and it will say that all the steps in the scenario is having a method in the step definition. So no step is missing in the step definition file. So this is the use of dry run option. So we can write in as to find the missing steps in step definition. So this can be done using dry run option. And now if you can see this particular output, console output, you can see something printed here in as 36M, 90M, hash, then this 0M. So this output is not pretty much readable. So to make it readable, so we will have to use an option. So this is our next Cucumber option, that is monochrome. So let us use monochrome, and it will also hold boolean value. So when we give it as true, now just observe when we run the command, the console output, how it comes. So now you can see the output is in now in a pretty readable format, and all the extra parameters have been gone. So we can use monochrome to reduce the extra parameters from the console output. Now there is one more option that is called as strict. So let us, so okay, so first of all we'll write down about it. To make the console output readable, more readable. And now we'll write the last one, that is strict. So strict also hold boolean value, and when we give strict, so what happens is, so now if dry run is, if you have made dry run is equal to false, which will allow the actual execution of the scenario. And now if by chance there is a step definition missing in the step definition file, so in that case we should Cucumber should pinpoint it, right? So just see what happens when we run the scenario. So now in this case, as the dry run is equal to false, the execution will take place, the browser will be launched, but it will show us that where it is failing and for which step we are missing the method in step definition file. So now you can see the browser has been launched and execution is beginning. So it has fetched the URL. It will be passing the username password. You click on sign in. Now sign off. It will click on sign off and then log out. And then afterward it will close the browser. So now browser is not closed because the step in step definition file, the method is missing for this step. So if you can see in here, we will see a message that you can implement the missing step, and it has created a snippet for it. Also in here, we get the failure trace that we get a message to do implement me. So implement means implement this particular snippet. So copy this and just put it into the step definition file. Also from here you can see the step has failed and it has not closed the browser because of it. I will be manually doing it, and now we'll, so in this way strict option is also somewhat similar to dry run, and it will also allow us to find the missing step in step definition. But this will happen, so in dry run, the when we give it as true, the actual execution does not take place, but in here the actual execution takes place. So scenario is executed in this case. So this is a difference between strict and dry run. So now, as most of them are covered, the tags, for tags we will be having a different lecture, as it is a much bigger part and we will be covering it in our upcoming lecture. So now let's jump upon format. So in format, so if you can see this output in the, yeah, so this output we are getting, right? So this is because we have defined pretty in here. So if we remove pretty in here from here and we just say HTML test output, then this will not come. So let us run this scenario again. Oh, we have not commented out, I guess. Okay. Just observe the console output. So in here it is printing the messages which we gave in the script, but it will not print the actual output. So in here the different output was printed, right? It is not being printed. So just uncomment it first. And now we'll see that when we give pretty, what will come. So now, just a minute. Okay. Okay. So now when we give pretty, here the whole scenario will be printed. So now let's run it again. The scenario execution has started, and now we will be seeing the actual output in console also, as we have defined the pretty keyword. Okay, you can see, because we have defined the pretty, the whole scenario, everything is printed and we are getting the correct output in console. So this is for pretty. So now for HTML test output, as we have defined HTML, so it will be generating HTML output in here. So this is the test output folder, and in here index HTML is there. So if you want to just view, just click on properties, go to the folder and just click on index.html. So this will show the Cucumber output. So if you can see, this is the Cucumber output, and the whole scenario is being printed in here. So if it gets failed, we can see it in the HTML report as well. So I will close this for now. And now there are few pretty, so now if we want to have our output in some other format, like some JSON format, so for that also we can have, so we can go in here, we can define JSON, then double colon, then JSON underscore output, and we will give cucumber dot JSON. So now in this case, if we run the scenario again, there will be three types of output. One will be console output, one will be this HTML output, and one will be this JSON output. Also, we will do one thing. We'll just add in the XML output as well. So for that, we'll have to write JUnit, then XML underscore output. There cucumber dot XML. So now as we have defined pretty, HTML test output, JSON and XML, so there will be four types of output. So let us run the scenario and we will see what types of output are getting generated. So the scenario is running. Okay, the scenario has been finished, and now this one is the first. This is the console output. Also, you can see the output in here. So you can see the feature has started execution. Just a minute. Then the scenario has passed and all the steps have been passed. So this is the console output. Then for HTML, whatever we saw earlier, we will go to the same location. And in here you can see the index HTML, that is the HTML result. So just close this. Now let us go to the same location, come back. So in here we are having JSON output as well as XML output. These are the folder which we mentioned in here. So these are the folder that we mentioned in here. So those are created. And now if you want to see the JSON output, just click on it. The file is in here. Just click on edit. So now the output will be printed in JSON format. So if somebody wants to see the output in JSON format, so we can just pass this file to him. But this is a little bit hard to understand, and the HTML report is the simplest one. Also, if you want to see the XML output, just go in here, right click and see the output. So in here you can see output is imprinted in the XML format, and for each step we are seeing that it is passed or failed. So this is pretty decent when compared to JSON, and this can also be used. So basically the format keyword cucumber option is used to just generate the output. So this one is done. So let's write it down. So this one is to generate different type of output. So now in this way we have seen features, glue, format, dry run, monochrome and strict. And one more is remaining, that is tags, that we'll be seeing in upcoming sessions. So we have covered the cucumber options in here. And yeah, with this we come to an end of this video. So this video was on the different cucumber options that we use in cucumber, and I hope that you have liked it, and do post all your questions or comments in the comment section below. So see you soon with more cucumber related content, and till then have a great time. Thank you.